Hey everybody, it's Lachelle, America's Supermom. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about multiple streams of income. This week, we have been focusing, the word of the week is to plan. So, this is something that I just want to address really quickly about the importance of having multiple streams of income. This came to me actually this morning because a friend of mine called me because her city where she lives has been affected by tornadoes. There's a lot of businesses that are no longer intact. You know, the tornado has really done a lot of damage in her city, and it's going to take a lot of rebuilding. And so I just want to talk about the importance of multiple streams of income and what that really means. You know, so this is just an opportunity for us to really examine what it is that we can do. What are some of our talents? What are some skills? What are some things that are easy for us that we kind of just take for granted? You know, as my coach tells me, something simple for you can be an epiphany for somebody else. And that is so profound because as we go through life, and I find this as a coach with many of my clients, we go through periods of transition. You know, you may have a house full of children and you're used to cooking and serving them. And then as you transition with them getting older and moving out, you find that you don't need to cook as much anymore. So you may be in a position to where you are working more hours and you really don't want to cook. So you want people to prepare meals for you. I'm dealing with this just with my mom. She is definitely had an empty nest for some time. However, she's now being a caretaker for her aunt who is 95, and her lifestyle has changed to a point to where now she's cooking every day. And so this is a very overwhelming transition for her because she went from cooking maybe 1 or 2 days a week to the need to cook every day in order to save money, make sure she's eating proper meals for her aunt who's older. And so as you go through life, there's just different things that you know, you may have to make changes in and implement, and having an income stream makes all the difference in going through those transitions. You know, as you have kids that go into college and, you know, you need to supplement their income with books or housing, different things like that. So you want to make sure that you have other income coming in. So the first thing would be to make an exhaustive list of everything that you are good at and things that you can make income from. So if it's public speaking, writing, maybe you prepare resumes, tutoring, cooking meals, being a caretaker, daycare for children, running errands, being an Uber driver, real estate, you know, maybe you can come up with a real estate management company. Well, you're managing properties for people who are leasing out these properties. Maybe they live out of state or don't live locally close by, and they want somebody to manage their properties. You can have your own call center. You know, use something that you could do from home where you're answering calls for people. You can proofread, be an editor for books, or, you know, any kind of freelancing. You know, I would get on, I believe it's called Fiverr. There's another one called Upwork. And another one that I want to give a shout out to is Thumbtack. I'm listed as a Thumbtack Pro. And I found out about them probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And they had an event just this past week. And I was able to network with other pros and find out a little bit more about the company. It's kind of like a referral service. They generate leads for you. And so they qualify the leads to some extent. You have your own criteria of people that you're searching for. And when you send a quote, if they respond to that quote, it's an opportunity for you to make a sale. So you have your own profile, pictures, just a list of the different services that you provide and different things like that. So it really is a good way to kind of start a business with a low cost of entry. Something that you can get started on really easily and kind of work your way up and build a clientele. This works well for businesses that are remote. You don't necessarily have to be face-to-face. You can do stuff online, that type of thing. So that's just a few ideas about how you can monetize your skills, make money, because a lot of times it's not the money that we make, but it's how we manage the money that we make. So being able to have different ways that you can earn income, will help out with back to school expenses. I know that's something that's big for us. School supplies. It's like the summer just goes by in a blink of an eye, and you look up and it's like they need new shoes. They need money for field trip fees, and they need a new backpack. They need this, they need that. So it's a great opportunity for you to come up with different ways that you can filter money into your household so that you can begin to budget and do things in a way where it's not always overwhelming when these added expenses take place. So that's really my little quick, brief segment on multiple streams of income and just making sure that you be proactive about the kind of life that you want to live. If you want to make X amount of dollars a month, how can you accomplish that? Do some little things where you can get residual money. You can write music. You don't necessarily have to be a singer to write music. You can write poetry. You can make an ebook, any kind of intellectual property. Now, that may not make you a millionaire, but it's residual income. To get a check in the mail every once a month or something, money that you weren't anticipating getting is always a good thing to receive from the mailbox. So that's my little spiel really quick. I hope you all are doing really well. Please stay tuned to some of my live Facebook sessions. Just follow me on Facebook, Lachelle Atkins. I've been meeting some really neat people. If you are interested in collaborating with me on these Facebook Lives, please feel free to reach out to me. I do have a calendar that's just set up, and it can automatically schedule you for a time. But I would love to get to meet you guys in person and find out ways that I can serve and support you in your business. It is June, and I am running a campaign half of the year. It's a half year sale, actually. So all my coaching programs for the month of June are 50% off. So take advantage of this opportunity. I've got video boot camps running right now. Just group coaching, one-on-one coaching, just a number of things. And I am always customizing programs for my clients. So if I don't have something listed that you might be interested in, please feel free to reach out. Let us get on a call so we can figure out how we can help you level up with your goals and get all you want to get out of 2019. So you guys have a wonderful Thursday, and stay tuned because I've got some new things coming up on my Facebook Lives, and I will see you all later. Have a great evening. Blessings. Bye.